Hello and welcome to our next video. In this lesson, we're going to go ahead and remember to check things into source control. Now, I didn't mention this last time, but every time we change our contact or any of our models really, we should rebuild our solution and make sure that it actually runs to make sure we don't have any syntax errors. So we can hit Control-Shift-B or we can use the menu for build solution. Now I'm going to hit Control-Shift-B and you should too. You should start getting used to using commands rather than the menu whenever possible. And this is just going to make sure that I don't have any typos since I didn't do this last time. I want to do this actually before I check in my code because I wouldn't want to check in an error. The other thing is when we run our code hitting F5, it will actually build for us as well. So we could have done that rather than Control-Shift-B. So whatever your groove ends up being, just find your groove and continue to use it. But try to get away from the menus as fast as possible. The less time you spend in the menu is the more time that you can spend coding. And of course, nothing's changed, so our solution still loads and everything's going to work exactly how we would expect it to. But that's all we wanted to prove, was that it would actually run. And we haven't wired up contacts, so there's no worries of it actually breaking a page at this point. Let's go ahead and check our code into source control. So I'm going to stop my project from running, and then I'm just going to go out to the project on my drive here. And I'm going to right-click and say Get GUI here. And I'm going to rescan there to get all of the changes. And so we want to make sure to leave out the MDF and LDF again. Those obviously we won't be checking in. So we're going to go ahead and move these changes though, which have our differences that we've done so far since the last time we had checked in. And let's stage those. So again here, let's start using menus. So we're going to Control-T. And that will give us those changes. We're going to go ahead and say added the contact model to the solution. And also added database migrations, since we have done that as well. Let's go ahead and commit that, and then let's go ahead and push it. Now here's the cool thing. Hopefully, since I have restored from source control, I will no longer need to go out and get my repo. Let's see if it'll know its master source. So it does have the remote origin now available to us. So I should be able to push it without having to go out to get my link every single time. And it looks like it pushed just fine. So what I can do is actually go out to Bitbucket and see that it's going to be there. And there we can see that it did push, and we added the contact model, and so everything is good to go. And we have checked in our changes to source control. So now we don't have to worry about losing the contact model ever. It will always be there for us if we had to restore. Well, that wraps up our reminder to check into source control, but you should do that often. Whenever you get to a point where you would want to restore to something you've accomplished, or you know something is working, and it's a good point to basically make yourself a good restore point if something were to go wrong, or if you just make a bunch of mistakes in code and want to restore back to the last version that worked, just check it in. There's no penalty for checking in often, and in fact, some places will make you check in often just for that very reason. And so it's a good idea to get used to it. Just find your groove and just don't forget to check into source control, because you want to make sure that you have those backups always available to you at good points. But that wraps up our video on our reminder to check in our changes. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.